There was a time when Ultimate Battlegrounds wasn't just a game, it was a war zone. A whole world where clans didn't just fight, they bled for dominance. And in this video, I am going to be showing you the downfall of clanning in UBG, generation by generation. You see, in the timeline of clanning in UBG, it consists of main 7 generations, and I will be discussing each one in a bit of detail. The first generation, the beginning of it all. It all started with 4 big names: Acheron, TA, which later became VK, HC, and FJ. These were the pioneers, the foundation. Clans weren't about status. They were about skill, unity, and respect. Acheron stood out for its dominance in member count. VK was known for its raw talent. HC brought organization, and FJ were wild cards, unpredictable and strong. This was the golden age right here, the true prime of clanning. Backups were instant, wars were clean, drama was rare. People came to fight and build legacies, not to tear them down. The second generation, change started to happen. VK disbanded and merged into a new clan called TB, created by the same leader who once owned HC. HC itself had shut down. Acheron still stood tall, but it wasn't alone anymore. A new name entered the scene: Xenon. What started as an underdog clan quickly became a rising storm. Xenon challenged the norms. They played hard, recruited harder, and left a mark. At that time, the battlefield had evolved. Clans started thinking more about strategy, alliances, merges, power plays. The third generation. This was the era where Xenon reached its peak. TB disbanded and then merged into Xenon. Acheron was still active, but some little cracks were beginning to show. New clans started to pop up, Vanguard being one of the most notable. Each brought something new, but none could ignore Xenon's dominance at that time. The fourth generation. Here came one of the main shifts. Acheron disbanded. One of the oldest and biggest names was gone. Xenon remained, but now faced newer enemies. A new force was born, NL, led by Arima and GMAN. A multi-merge clan consisted of many clans, all of them under the name of Never Lose. Despite their dark reputation and shady actions, they were powerful, ruthless, and fast-growing. T1 also returned, and suddenly, the playing field got dangerous. Wars weren't just about winning, they became personal. The fifth generation, Xenon vs NL, the longest rivalry in the history of UBG, over 4 months of non-stop war. Daily raids, call-outs, drama, back-and-forth wins. No side backed down. But eventually, both clans collapsed under the pressure. It wasn't just them. T1 disbanded too, as well for Soul Society, which was considered Xenon's closest ally at that time, and many other no-names disbanded too. Though, after that disbanding wave that occurred, 2 new clans rose from the ashes. Death, led by me, and Ascend, led by Vilth. These 2 former leaders, me of Xenon and Vilth of Acheron. We bashfully tried to merge these new clans into one unstoppable force, but Vilth's past caught up with him. The community turned on him, and I decided to pull back because I just knew it wasn't going to work at all. So the merge failed, and it was really bad. That fallout? It shook the entire community. It exposed fractures, trust issues, ego wars, and we all could tell that it ruined the foundation clanning once had, marking the 5th generation one of the worst generations for the clanning community. That's if it's not the worst. The 6th generation. Many thought clanning was done, but then a flicker happened. New clans formed, such as Veilborn, Ashborn, and others. I also decided to step in as a way of trying to fix the aftermath of the 5th generation, alongside my old bud, Spency. Together, we formed 777, and in under 19 hours, we hit 100 members. That was not a clan. That was a movement. And I personally think that 777 was one of the fastest growing clans ever. Eventually, 777 merged with Veilborn, creating Pyromania, a super clan that dominated every region. It gave clanning hope again, but the spark was already fading away. And last but not least, today's generation, the 7th generation. Yeah, clanning is still around, it still exists, but barely. Small forces like H, F, Walker, Flow, and others are still around. But it's not the same. Wars are rare. Pings are quiet. The passion is gone. It just feels empty. So, what else could have possibly caused the downfall of clanning? Number 1. The game itself. UBG developers stopped updating. Long gaps occurred between updates. Minor changes that didn't even matter. People basically got bored, so they left. When the people leave, the game dies and the clans fade too. Number 2. Clanning losing its soul. Clanning used to be about skill, teamwork, loyalty. But then, it became toxic at some point. People doxed each other, spread lies, tried to ruin reputations for fun or revenge. It stopped being a game. It became a war zone for egos, and it wasn't about who could gain more victories in wars. It was about who could be the most toxic. Number 3. Betrayals. Friends turned on each other. Clans backstabbed allies. Merges that looked good fell apart from the inside. Trust became a joke. It was all just messed up. Number 4. New gens. New players didn't really understand clanning and its situation. They weren't taught. That's why they didn't really care. Many joined, stayed for a week, and vanished. No legacy, no passion. Clanning used to mean something. But now, it's just a memory. But who knows? Maybe one day someone will bring it back. Until then, the war stays silent.